How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to another week of Bleeding Blue with GSU here on Atlanta Sports Unlimited. I'm Christian Crittenden here with you, like I am every week, bringing you some of the best and latest coverage there is of Georgia State athletics. So we're just about under 3 weeks away to the start of Panther football, and I know everyone is excited. I remember when we were like 50 days away, 60 days away, and it seemed like forever, but the time is finally speeding up, and it's going to be here before you know it when Army comes to town to kick off the first game of the season, September 4th at Center Park Stadium. Make sure you're there to support the Panthers and just watch some good football. I know everyone is excited to get back in the stadium after the past year or so and everything we've been through with that. But I got to show some love real quick to our other fall sports programs as they're going to get a swing now. We have volleyball, going to get in action. We have men's and women's soccer, both playing some games. And they unveiled their new facility, which was the old football facility, but now transitioned to a soccer facility. They finally have a home that is not Panthersville. They have a home right in the heart of downtown Atlanta, not too far away from campus. So everyone make sure you get over to support the men's and women's soccer program. We're going to focus on football today. We'll get to those other sporting teams in just a few weeks. But we're going to break down the second half of the Panther season, which honestly, I think is a lot tougher than the first part. I mean, you have North Carolina in the first part, you have Auburn, you have App State, but this second half of the Panther schedule is loaded. We're going to get to that in a second. Before we do, though, make sure you subscribe. We're going to watch the video, Atlanta Sports Unlimited, see all the latest videos when they come up, and follow us on social media, Facebook and Twitter, so you see all of our latest updates. Now to the second half of that schedule, which, like I said, is probably a lot tougher than the first half. I mean, the first half, I know you have North Carolina, you have Auburn, you have App State, but this second half, there are no breaks in the second half of the schedule. It starts off with a date with Georgia Southern. The annual rivalry game, it's always tough. You never know who's going to win it. It's always back and forth. And this year, honestly, can be a lot of the same. I mean, unfortunately for the Panthers, the Eagles will be breaking in a new quarterback. It's Shai Wertz, who was the quarterback at the helm of the Eagles offense for the past 4 years, is now gone. He is going to Louisville. So, I mean, that's up in the air because their offense is still trying to figure some things out. So, maybe to the advantage of the Panthers. Now it's deep in the season, so if you're Georgia Southern, you hopefully have things figured out by that point, but you never know how things can go in college football. Things are always changing from week to week. Now, the one thing I like about this year's matchup is it's not the last weekend of the season. Normally, this game is the last weekend of the season and rivalry week, which I'm not denying that this is a rivalry, but it's a budding rivalry. It's up and coming. It doesn't have the same, star power or staying power that other rivalries around the country have that take eyes away from this game, just being honest. And especially Georgia and Georgia Tech. Being in the same city as Georgia Tech, when that game is in Atlanta, it's going to take fans away. It's going to take eyes away. Naturally, I mean, that rivalry's been around forever. So when you have a budding rivalry like this, has had some pretty good games in the past few years and very important games. I mean, Georgia State booked their first bowl trip by beating Georgia Southern back a few years ago. So, I mean, very important games in this matchup, but still not going to take eyes away from that. So now, this year it's the same weekend as Georgia, Florida, so I guess you just can't catch a break. But I think it's a better place, and I think going forward, if it's not the last weekend of the season, I think it'll be better for the rivalry. Now, after this game, it gets a lot tougher. And that's no disrespect to Georgia Southern because they are a respected program, they're a good program, but you have Louisiana and Coastal Carolina back-to-back. I mean, pretty much a gauntlet. Louisiana, you got to go to Lafayette. It's going to be on Thursday night. It's going to be on ESPN, so they're going to have a lot of fans there in attendance. It's going to be loud. It's going to be tough to play. It's probably going to be hot, to be honest with each other. Even in November in Louisiana, it's probably still going to be hot. So the Panthers, they have to be ready to play. Levi Lewis, who is the quarterback at the helm of the Louisiana offense, he's good. He's voted second team All Sun Belt this preseason. He's a huge playmaker last year through the air, on the ground. He made a lot of plays in that game late for Louisiana to escape Center Park Stadium with a win last year because the Panthers almost upset the Raging Cajuns, but the Raging Cajuns as right now are ranked, and I guess barring a catastrophe, there's a good chance they could be ranked or close to being ranked as the time comes. This matchup, but it's gonna be a good game regardless. So get your popcorn ready for that one. And next week, I mean, it's the Sun Belt Conference that the Georgia State no favors with the scheduling. Having to go to Louisiana and having to go to Coastal Carolina the next week. Two really tough opponents. The Chanticleers are led by Grayson McCall, who many expect to be the Sun Belt Player of the Year, and he was voted first team All Sun Belt in the preseason, and he's voted preseason Sun Belt Player of the Year. So the guy's good. There's no denying that. He can sling it. Chanticleers are very good. They returned a lot of their starters from last year. But if you're Georgia State, this is a revenge game. And it's probably, in my opinion, the biggest game of the season simply because of what happened last year. You lose 51-0 at home. You have to avenge yourself, especially going on the road. You got a chance to get some of that bad taste out of your mouth, you know. And the road through the Sun Belt Conference, not the East and the conference as a whole, goes through these two teams. It goes through Louisiana and it goes through Coastal Carolina. So you're Georgia State, you got to come ready. I mean, there's no excuses. You got to be ready to play this week as it comes. So the next 2 weeks after this gauntlet that they have to go through with Georgia Southern, Louisiana, and Coastal, it gets slightly easier, but not much, because you have Arkansas State and Troy, two formidable opponents, two teams that are very good, two teams that are always strong. They've been consistently good over the past few years in the Sun Belt Conference. I mean, Arkansas State, they even beat Georgia State last year 59-52 at Arkansas State. Is it going to be a home this year for the Panthers? But you cannot let someone score 59 points to you again and expect to win. You score 52, they score 59. So you got to score 60 to win. That's really hard to do week in and week out. I know the Panthers have a really good offense, but scoring 60 points in a football game is really hard, even in today's modern game. So defense, like I mentioned in previous videos, is going to be one of the factors to the Panthers' success this season. It's going to be a big factor in this game. Can you slow them down and not allow them to score 59 points once again? And Troy, they're not the Troy of old. They're not the Troy that beat LSU a few years ago, but they're still very good. The Panthers were able to squeak by last year in 36-34, but it's going to be a tough one. Fortunately for Georgia State, though, these last two games, it will be at home. They'll be at Center Park Stadium, so they have an advantage there if the fans come out and make some noise. But even being at home, you feel more comfortable. So this second half of the schedule for Georgia State is no slouch. But like I said before, then they're going to win the Sun Belt East and play for a Sun Belt championship this year. Sun Belt Conference have no favorites with the scheduling, but in order to be the best, you have to beat the best. They got a chance to do it this fall.